Hi. So I'm just here giving an update on the channel. I don't know if there are that many of you who actually care at this point, but figured it was worthwhile in case anyone was wondering where I've been and why I haven't uploaded anything in quite some time. And the reason is just that I lost interest for a number of reasons, and I'll talk more about it. I'm just doing a little vlog style video here, no script or anything, just kind of going off the top of my head, but. So I started the channel because I wanted to talk about video games, something that I love, as a hobby, share that kind of experience with other people, find other like-minded people who wanted to discuss that topic and could do so through the medium of video. And also because I am a big fan of watching this kind of content on YouTube, or at least I was before. I found that when I was trying to make this kind of content, I was tired of it and I didn't want to watch other people doing it, which is a negative, right? Because then I'm not seeing what people are doing that's working, right? So I was really inspired by a lot of YouTubers that are out there: SNES Drunk, Top Hat Gaming Man, Octavius. And if you look at the earlier videos that I made, not like the first couple, because I think the first couple I was sort of imitating the gaming historian more or less. I kind of tried to do some of what they do, right? Like I did some characters and stuff, and I wanted to take that farther, but I think a mistake I made really early in the channel was I was looking at the views and the engagement when I had only a few videos up and making decisions about whether the content was any good based on that. And I don't think I understood that there may still have been an audience for that, and the algorithm hadn't quite found it yet. And I think that was probably a mistake, and I should have stuck with that original format. I think I should have kept on doing characters. I had a few other characters in mind that I wanted to try. I really only rolled out like the BitKeeper, if you remember the BitKeeper, but I had some other ones. I wanted to do Ninja Guy Dan, which you kind of saw some early versions of back in my Ninja Gaiden videos if you watched those. But anyway, I changed things, and I changed things because I thought that would make the channel more successful, and it also factored in how much work it all was. It was a lot less work to not be doing characters on screen, and the less I was on screen, the less editing I had to do, and I cut back editing on these videos from taking 12, 14, 16, 24 hours to taking 8, maybe 9 hours. You'd be shocked at how much work it is to edit these kinds of videos. It is just after I collect the gameplay footage and I go back through it and like cut the pieces that I want, it was a lot of work. Especially I would have gameplay footage that could be a clip that's like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Some clips were an hour. I had clips that were multiple hours long, especially if I was playing RPGs and I had a long session going. So I had a lot of footage that I would have to comb through, and I wasn't always happy with the result because I would be looking through hours and hours of footage to find this one thing that I really wanted to talk about in the video, and I just couldn't find the clip I was looking for, and I would eventually kind of run out of patience and use something else. And I wasn't always happy with the way it turned out. And that's another reason why I stopped making videos, because it just takes a lot of time. And I realized, this was time that I don't have a lot of free time. I mean, I'm a dad. I have a young son, and I'm also trying to get some exercise. I've been doing martial arts again, and I have to prioritize things like my health and my life over this hobby, and also my other hobbies. I have ADHD. I have like 10 hobbies. I'm always doing something, and this is one of them. But this hobby was taking so much time out of my day, and I would be spending entire weekends working on videos that I could have spent with my family, or I could have spent working on other things or doing other things. So it was becoming almost problematic at that point, especially because I was putting so much work into these videos, spending a lot of time, and that's my dog shaking off over there, spending a lot of time on these videos, and the results were never worth it. If you look at my video history, I have videos that I spent an entire weekend editing, not to mention a week or two recording all the footage. a couple of days writing the script, and then all that time, and it gets 150 views, and people are clicking off in the first 2 minutes. And that was always a problem from the very beginning with this channel. I always had a problem with retention. It seems like I could never get anyone to stay tuned for more than a couple of minutes, and I don't know why. I looked at like comments that I would get. Sorry about that. It's going to be a pretty raw video here. I would look at comments, and I would get two kinds of comments, right? I would get positive comments where people liked what they were seeing and had good things to say, and I would get questions like, oh, how do I do this in the game? How do I do that in the game? So what I didn't get was, I didn't get like constructive feedback, right? And in the beginning, I would post some videos on Facebook in these retro gaming groups, and I would kind of get flamed just for posting them. And then like the little bit of feedback I actually got on the videos was not helpful. It would be like very extreme sort of feedback. Like, oh, your audio isn't perfect, and if you're going to be on YouTube, your audio has to be perfect every time. Like, I'm just starting out. It's not going to be perfect. If there's something that's not great about it, then, tell me, and I'll fix it. But just telling me it has to be perfect and it's not, that's not helpful, So that's the kind of stuff I ran into early on in the channel. And I learned also promoting on Facebook was a huge mistake, because people mostly just don't like when you do that. So if anything, it actually turns people off to the channel, and they don't want to watch it at all. I didn't get many views or subscribers that way, so eventually I stopped doing it, except in a couple of groups that I was a long-time member of, that everyone knew me. And like I have one group, the Gaming Dungeon, where the admins support me and would allow me to post my content there, and even promote it on the group, and tell other members, hey, this guy's great, you should check his stuff out. So that was always wonderful, to have that support. But I didn't have enough, hey, you could do this better, you could do that better. So I didn't really know where to go to get those numbers to a more acceptable level. Then another problem that I ran into was that I would just not know how to like optimize for YouTube. And it's a big thing now. YouTube, just the algorithm and the manipulation of the algorithm is the number one most important thing. The content is almost secondary to knowing how to work the algorithm. And I felt like, in the beginning my content was not great. I feel like it got a lot better. And I think that, having content in the beginning that I pushed on other platforms that didn't catch on kind of bit me in the ass later, because then I had already, problems where the algorithm didn't know where to serve my stuff, and it was serving it to people who weren't interested. And I think I kind of shot myself in the foot with that. Another issue I had, I think, is that I wasn't doing anything new. Like, I wasn't adding anything new. This is already a really saturated niche, and I wasn't really adding anything to it. I mean, I could add my personality, and I can add my writing was very strong. Maybe I didn't have enough of a character, or my personality didn't come through enough, or I wasn't, playing up the right aspects of that personality, or maybe I should have been doing a bit the whole time and doing a character, but I never really was doing a character. If you look at some of the more popular gaming YouTubers that I mentioned before, you look at Top Hat Gaming Man, Octavius, they have a character that they're doing. Even like some of the other ones that come off more natural, like JonTron, like that's a character too. Jared is a character. Like, yeah, that's him, but he's also doing a bit, like he's doing a character. And I never really had that down. And it's probably sounds kind of silly, but I think one of the biggest problems that I had, like getting people interested and getting people into the videos, is that I'm not standing in front of like a bookshelf full of old games, because I don't have bookshelves full of old games, and that's going to come across sounding almost like, maybe even a little salty, and maybe I am a little bit, but it seems like a good portion of this audience isn't really interested in what you have to say unless you have a collection to show off, which I don't have. So I don't know, take that for what it is, I guess. And Anyway, what I set out to do, I guess I wasn't really very successful at it because even my most popular videos uh, have maybe like 1,000 views or so. And then I did a few emulation tutorials, mainly focused on RetroArch. And the reason I did those is because I was in like some RetroArch groups and forums and stuff, and I kept seeing the same questions coming up a lot. And it actually really frustrated me to no end because just every day I go on Reddit or Facebook and I would see the same questions over and over and over. And so I decided, you know what? I'm going to answer these questions in a video, right? Because that'll be helpful. It'll be something useful that people will want to see. And then I can just link the video when people ask questions. That'll help my channel and that'll help people with their questions. And maybe, it'll reduce the number of same questions being asked over and over and over again in these forums. And they did really well. They did really well because I accidentally did SEO on them, and they're at the top of Google. If you search for like how to do just about anything in RetroArch, one of the first video suggestions is going to be one of my videos. I don't even know how that happened. I have no clue. There are plenty of tutorial videos out there. I'm sure there are plenty of tutorial videos out there for RetroArch that are better than the ones that I made. But mine are there. The thumbnail is simple but fetching, and when you boot up the video, I guess people were liking the way I did those videos. I had myself in the corner and I had the computer screen on. I just told them how you do it, and I added like a little comedy sketch at the beginning of each one that I thought might kind of get someone's attention. And those actually did significantly better than every other video I uploaded. So that told me, if anything, that if I was giving something like information, answering questions, that was going to be a lot more popular. But that wasn't what I wanted to do with the channel. That was supposed to be something secondary. It was never supposed to be the main focus of the channel. And I debated it. I thought about it once. I'm like, do I want to make this a channel about like video game emulation specifically? And I don't. That's been a hobby of mine for a long time. I am a computer guy. I work in the IT industry. I've been a computer hobbyist since I was a kid. I learned how to use computers on DOS 3. I've had Windows 3.1. I've had Windows 95, 98, Millennium Edition, XP. I came up through all of that. I work with Linux. I built a Raspberry Pi over here for a RetroPie machine. I work with Windows. I'm a computer guy. So I have that knowledge, but even that I got people in the comments like telling me, oh, there's an easier way to do this. Like, yeah, I know there's an easier way to do it for you and for me, but maybe not for somebody who hasn't been using Windows for 25 years. But that's kind of that's kind of neither here nor there. I had a few videos where I did like more controversial takes on stuff, and those did pretty well for the most part, but still not scratching the surface of even being like a successful YouTube video, like not even close. And the thing that really drove me up a wall, and I think finally made me decide to stop, was I would see videos from other channels that were Mars, not right now. I'm not editing this video at all, so if Mars barks, he barks. I would see videos from other content creators that were the exact same video. The exact same video that I made. Like, not saying that anyone copied me. They didn't copy me. It was just, and this kind of comes back to not really adding anything to the space. Like, I saw a video that was a Castlevania 4, retrospective video. And it was good. It was very similar to my Castlevania 4 retrospective video. And I'm not saying that the author of this video watched my video and copied it. I know that because no one watched my video. But what I'm saying is they created something very similar. And I watched that one and I watched mine. And I noticed that my video was a little shorter and had a little more information, which means my writing was more concise and I was able to say more in less time, which I would think would be a plus. But that video was released like a year after my video and had like 12,000 views. And my video 2 years after being released had like 300. And I don't know why that happened. I even tried watching a lot of those like how to be successful on YouTube videos, and none of that advice worked. None of it. The main thing they keep telling you to do is to go comment on someone else's video and link to your video. People don't like it when you do that. I actually had one guy yell at me for it. Who was it? Oh, I want to shout him out. Not that anyone's going to see this video. Yeah. I can't remember. I can't remember the name. It was my Residence of Fate. My Resonance of Fate review. And Scott's Gaming Asylum. Scott did not like that I did that. He like flamed me for it, and I was like, I'm sorry. I thought this was like a pretty normal thing to do. I guess it's not. So, and it didn't help the channel. Like, it didn't, raise my subscriber count overnight. Didn't do very much of anything. So I was in a place where I was frustrated. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to make this channel grow or make it any better. I didn't know what content people were looking for. I didn't know what I wasn't delivering. And it was just an exercise in frustration. I just didn't know. I watched other gaming YouTubers and tried to, take what they were doing that worked and make it my own, and it just didn't work. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's me. I don't know if people find the sound of my voice irritating. I don't know if people find this mug irritating. I guess not, because if that was the case, then they would have watched the ones where I don't have my face in them, and the ones where I do have my face in them did better sometimes. And that's kind of the other problem. It's all very inconsistent. I could never know what was going to be successful. I made a video about the Super Nintendo game Record of Lodoss War, and that did really well. But that's probably one of my better non-tutorial videos. And I had no, idea why that did so well. The best video I ever made, by a wide margin, is the fighting games versus real fighting video. That is my best video. It's the one I put the most work into. And crickets, just crickets. I can't get that thing moving to save my life, and I don't know why. It's a really good video. My Mike Tyson's Punch-Out video is a really good video. No one watched it. So, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I have much else to say about it. So I don't want to say that I'm quitting YouTube altogether, because every once in a while I kind of play with the idea of like, oh, well, maybe I'll make this video, maybe I'll make that video. Like, I wouldn't mind making a video once in a while if there's a topic that I really feel like is interesting and different. I had an idea. I was going to do like NES RPGs that hold up, but David Vincent has already done a video like that, and I'm not going to be able to make a video that is better than his. He's already got a huge audience. He's got a great personality. He's great on the camera. Everybody likes him. It's very hard to compete in this space when you have. That's kind of the other thing too, right? It's very hard to compete in this space or wedge oneself into this space when there are so many very talented creators who have already done what I'm trying to do, right? So, you look at all these channels that are out there. We've got Larry Bundy, who has been a supporter of mine, who comments on my videos and subscribes and has given me some feedback. He's great. His videos are incredible. David Vincent, another one. I was just thinking about Slopes Gaming Room. I've had ideas for videos I wanted to do, and then I've seen them. Slopes already did it, and I'm not going to outdo Slopes. Like, it's not. He's already got a huge audience, and I'm not going to be able to, make something that is going to eclipse what he's already doing. So, that's really it, man. I guess as far, apart from like shouting out other YouTubers that inspired me to do this in the first place, and sort of, lamenting the failures of the channel, and Mars. I'm not cutting anything, so. Hey, Mars. Quiet. Mars, come here. Come here. Mars, come here. Here, come on. Come on. He's a chonky boy. Whee! He's a chonky boy. This is Mars. He's gonna hang out with me for the rest of the video because he barks too much. So, I mean, that's really all I wanted to say. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that I'm not gonna do any more videos. I'm definitely gonna do. Well, I don't know. Maybe not definitely. I'll probably do some videos again sometime in the future, but it's not going to be like on a regular basis, and it's only going to be if I have like a really good idea, something that I feel like is unique and that, you know, someone hasn't already done better who has a larger audience. Some of those videos, man, it really burned me up. I saw videos from channels that were bigger than me. You know, same topic, same format, released years later, getting 10 times, 20 times the number of views, and I just, what was wrong with mine? It's the same. It's virtually the same. It's like the same format. Everything is very similar. My writing was a little better, and I got, and I don't want to insult anyone. I mean a little better, you know. But and then I was thinking, hey, you know, what about video essays? But, you know, Super Eye Patch Wolf has that on lock. He's amazing. I can't, you know, I can't get into that space. You know, he's got that space dominated. So I don't really know. Yeah, I don't know how to make this stuff work. I don't know how to make better or more attractive or more interesting YouTube videos. I have no idea. I'm just going to post this vlog up there raw if anyone cares or wants to see it. And if you do see this and you decide, you know, maybe you want to go back and look at some of my older videos, I would really appreciate that. You know, they're all still there, even the ones that I don't like or think didn't come out good. I've only ever deleted one video, right? I deleted one video because it was a Neo Geo, history of Neo Geo video. I was kind of trying to be the gaming historian there. And apparently I got like a lot of stuff wrong. But it was one of my first videos, and I think I was in such a hurry to kind of put it together that I rushed the research portion and I didn't really check things very thoroughly, and I had a lot of stuff, like a lot of facts kind of mixed up, especially on the technical end of things. That was another thing. I was trying to do more of a technical edge to the videos in the beginning, and I realized that was an incredible amount of work and research that I was not prepared for. And then, of course, you know, there's the fact that like pretty much everything in the 16-bit and the 8-bit era was running on a Motorola X68K processor, so there's not that much to talk about. But I had another thought too that I was going to throw out there. Oh yeah, for a brief time, I considered turning this channel into like a Let's Play channel, and that also did not work. No one cared, no one was interested, so there you go. So, yeah, in closing, if I do create any more content, and I may or may not, it's going to be only once in a while, and it's going to be only if there's a topic that I find, you know, is something that hasn't really been discussed too much in depth before, and something that, you know, is interesting enough that, you know, there aren't already, you know, 10 videos about it. Shoot, I had another thought, and now it's gone. Oh, another video that I thought was really good that I did, if you want to look at what I feel is one of my better videos, was my Epic Game Store video, and how that's not cool, and Epic shouldn't do the exclusivity thing anymore. Never should have done it to begin with. And people want to argue that, and there's no good argument for it. It's simply, you know, trying to wedge into a market that is highly competitive without being equally competitive. And, you know, you can look at my YouTube channel and how I tried to wedge my YouTube channel into a niche that's already crowded with, you know, very talented and successful creators without having the talent to do that or being able to put in the work that they put in, and expecting to still, you know, to still be competitive in that space. And it's just not possible. You can't be competitive in a space by bribing people, and that's exactly what they were doing. That's what Epic was doing. So anyway, and they're not successful in that space. They lose millions of dollars every year doing that. So anyway, that's you can watch that video if you're curious about that. And yeah, I guess that's all I really have to say. I'm kind of rambling at this point, and I think Mars has relaxed now that he's getting some love and getting held and getting petted. He's a very good dog. He's a Schnauzer, but he likes to bark at everything. He's a little hunter. He wants to hunt all the critters out there, squirrels and birds and everything. So he's a good boy. All right. Well, anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and I'm sure I'll see you again sometime in some form. I was thinking about doing like a website or a blog or something. I don't know. Let me know what you think.